welcome back to Dials. We're here at the Walker Classic 2018. I'm Ben Hamer, and Fergie, you look different.
Yeah, I feel a little different, to be honest with you, too.
No, I'm joined by Tyson Sparks.
Hey, how's it going out there, everybody?
Fergie has left us with this replacement. That's all you are. No, I'm totally kidding. So fun fact, I've been doing streaming stuff with Back to Dials for like a year or so, and Tyson's obviously been around a while, and we met for the first time yesterday.
Yeah, we're such a huge corporate entity that, you know, not all of our employees can know each other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how
what is it, a grand total like 5 now? That's so many.
That's right. It's getting crazy. Okay.
So on the stream for round 5, we've got 2 players from Fort Collins. We have, I'm going to butcher this one, Steve Simske?
Simske sounds right.
That sounds right. And Logan Haas. So on the left, we've got Steve with 3 bounty hunters with nothing on them, just triple fire sprays, which sounds awesome. I would like to point out that one of those fire sprays is Adam Katnig's hand-painted Tyson Sparks fire spray. The one in the middle, yeah. That has your face under those googly eyes, and then sparks all around it. That's you.
Yeah, so these are super sweet fire sprays for people who didn't watch our Mandalorian Mayhem event last night. These are the 3 Back to Dials fire sprays. So we've got the Back to Dials corporate sponsored Bounty Hunter fire spray on the left, the Tyson Sparks TM fire spray in the middle, and the Howl fire spray. Howl, who is, of course, in love with Asa, loves Asa so much. So that's the one on the right there. So a super awesome list. Triple fire spray is something that was popular back in Wave 2, Wave 3, something like that. I haven't seen it in a long time. This should be exciting.
Yeah, I actually wasn't even around for that. I started really getting into X-Wing last, like, June-ish, so I wasn't really around for all that. I was in for, like, Wave, like 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's the other list we got here?
Yeah, and then on the right side of the screen here, we've got Logan Haas. We have a Lieutenant Sai with the Tractor Beam, Admiral Sloan, and Shield Upgrade, and then we've got 4 Planetary Sentinels. That's the I-1 Striker. So it looks like the basic idea of this list, Sai will go around passing out focuses like Sai does, and then when those strikers start to go pop, Admiral Sloan will start handing out some stress tokens. It's a list we've seen a couple times in the early 2.0 meta. I know it made some runs, so it should be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, and the as well as dishing out stress when those strikers start to go down, Sloan is also going to be a decent deterrent for those fire sprays basically not wanting to use their red reinforce.
Yeah.
Because if they get stressed, then everything is getting rerolls against them. And we are numbering those strikers, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, respectively, from right to left, as it's seen on our screen. So number 4 will be that that big Lego one.
Now what's going on up there? It almost looks like we've got a snow speeder on the left up there.
That can't be legal. Can someone call an FFG representative and just let him know?
He will make it legal. So there's the handshake here. It looks like we're getting about ready to get back to Dials. Asteroids are down here. Looking at the setup here, how are you feeling about this match, Ben?
In all honesty, it's hard for me to say because I haven't seen either of these lists operate yet. But my first instinct is that the 3 fire sprays have the upper hand because it's 3 fire sprays and I like fire sprays. And so
that's an interesting opinion. I would have gone the other way.
My reasoning being that they've got it's a lot of hull or a lot of just hit points in general to chew through. They're very mobile, and once they can get in behind the list and just start throwing shots out the back, basically chasing them down is going to be difficult, considering everything they can do.
I could see it here. We'll see where it goes. So here we go. Starting off, we've got the striker player activating first. There's the advanced ailerons, 1 bank into a 3 bank back towards the middle. Looks like narrowly missing that asteroid there. Yep,
yeah, that would have been
missing.
an unfortunate start.
That
to
would not
land
have been
right
good
on
with
it.
the Lego. Would have been broken into bricks right there.
I know that ship. That should, by right, that should have less hull. The Lego
That's
ship.
right. It's made of Legos, for God's sakes. So then we got a 1 straight advanced ailerons into a, looks like a 2 straight. Coming into the middle. Now, these strikers here are just so fast with those advanced ailerons. It's really going to be a quick-moving game here, it looks like.
Yeah, and the Firesprays on those medium bases and with their newfound boosting abilities, there's I think it's going to be a pretty quick engagement. Round 2 for sure, possibly round 1, depending on how hard Steve wants to push that engagement in the beginning. It's pretty much up to him at this point if he opts to move fast and use his boost to push a round 1 engagement or not.
Indeed. All right, so there's your advanced ailerons again. Another 1 bank after that. Coming up fast, closing in.
Someone, so TCAS PGA in chat says, "What the F is that Sentinel on the left?"
You and me both, man. You and me both.
That is a glorious Lego striker, and you're not allowed to insult it because I love it. Here we got another aileron bank and into a 1 bank from the last Sentinel number 2, which by right shouldn't be the last one because number 2. Anyway,
He's messing with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's messing with us here.
everyone focusing, 2 focuses on the left, 2 evades on the right, prepping up for a potential first engagement, trying not to lose a ship right off the bat.
Yeah, now, so this is interesting. So those Sentinels, obviously at I-1, moving before all of these bounty hunters. Maybe the bounty hunters will have a chance to get behind them. Firesprays are much more maneuverable than they were with that rear arc. Maybe he could do something here. I'm coming around to your way of thinking here, Ben.
Yeah, hell yeah. Or heck yeah. What am I allowed to say? Anyway.
It's the internet. Say what you want here.
They have a lot of maneuverability with that boost. They also fit into a lot of spaces that they didn't used to on that medium base. It takes away from their speed a little bit, but it gives them a better fit in certain situations.
Certainly. So it looks like the Firesprays came out relatively fast here. It looks like we had some 3 straights and a 4 straight there. Not messing around. We're going to get some action here.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like he has not taken any boosts, so this will be a round 2 engagement. Yep. So with 2 lists like this that are so full of generic pilots, there isn't really much talk of target priority, seeing as most of them are the same. But on Steve's side, do you think he goes after that Lambda first and tries to take the action economy off the board, or does he start popping the swarm right away?
Well, looking at the board here, it seems like those strikers 1 and 2 on the right side of the screen are going to be in attack position pretty much no matter what. No matter what Steve does, he's going to be facing those this turn. If I were him, I would try to go slow here and maybe only engage those 2. Maybe the Lambda won't quite get in range. Maybe that striker 4 on the left won't quite get in range if you go slow.
Right.
I would try that. Try to pop one of those 2. Maybe you even get lucky and you're not in Admiral Sloan range, and you can kill one without the stress penalty. That's where I'd be trying to go.
Yeah, because these Firesprays will definitely, once they're popping ships, Sloan is going to be a huge issue, dishing out double stress and taking away a lot of their maneuverability. We've already got some nicknames coming out. We've got Admiral Slogan.
Nice.
And I would also like to highlight this comment that says, Logan Haas some strikers.
Doo-doo.
I'm coming around to the puns. I don't know how much you were listening in earlier, Tyson, but it's been nonstop puns since round 1.
Nonstop puns. Excellent. I love it. All right, so here we are back to the action. We've got the advanced ailerons 1 straight from that striker number 4 into a 2-turn. Ooh, that's going to be close on the debris.
That's definitely a debris hit.
In the end, not that close on the debris.
Which, honestly, not terrible. Your odds of taking damage from debris are pretty low, and the opportunity to get all guns on a target here is I think worth the stress.
I think so too, and it works out for him. That roll there was not a crit, so no damage.
Exactly, yeah. And it also kind of gives him a little control for the next round. Maybe he doesn't want to activate his ailerons and, you know, keep that ship moving a little slower.
Yep.
So that it doesn't get in the way of the rest of his squad.
Yep, so here comes the other ones moving up. We had an advanced ailerons and then a 2 straight, and now we've got an advanced ailerons and what I'd have to imagine is a 1 hard. Yep, there it is, the 1 hard.
I would have been shocked if it was anything different. Coming in with, I imagine, an evade, looking to keep as many of his ships alive as long as he can.
Yep, gonna go focus there. And I would imagine this will look the same. We've got an advanced ailerons to the screen left and another 1 hard.
So this leads me to an interesting question. What do you think his decision process is here on who takes an evade and who takes a focus as he's moving this swarm in?
Well, before he had just put that second evade out there, I was about to say that you know that Psy will get you 1 focus for sure, right? So one of your guys can comfortably take an evade because Psy will give that guy a focus. Now, he did take 2 evades, so that's a little questionable to me, but we'll see what he's going for. I could imagine he could be thinking that that one is the most likely target, kind of being out towards the side, out in the front a little bit. So maybe that's
probably
why.
He thinks one of those 2 is the most likely target. So whichever one the most fire sprays are pointed at is the one that he coordinates the focus to.
Yeah,
something like that, just to really keep it alive.
Yeah. So now an interesting move there with the pink howl fire spray. He moved 1 straight and then boosted up, putting himself well into firing range here.
Yeah,
not
into
sure how I
firing
feel
range
about that.
and tokenless.
Yeah.
So here's a 1 bank and a self bump from the left fire spray there, the black fire spray. I can't imagine. I almost wonder if some of that was moved a little out of order. If maybe the original intention was to 1 bank and then boost ahead with the black fire spray, and then move the other one, the Tyson Sparks fire spray, in behind it.
That certainly might have made more sense. Looking at this position here, I'm not loving it for the fire sprays. They got a tokenless ship way out in front here.
It's a kind of a bad spot with a lot of guns all pointed on.
So here we are to shooting. Psy will shoot first. Looks like he's measuring range to the number 3 Howl fire spray. With a tractor beam, he's going to shoot here.
Yeah, not a bad choice at all when he's got the whole of his swarm pointed at it. 1 hit into 1 evade, so...
So it doesn't work out. No tractor tokens, but I see what he was going for.
Pretty lucky for that fire spray.
Indeed.
Because that could have been pretty disastrous.
Yeah, so now we'll go ahead and move. So he did not get a coordinate there with Psy either, because it hit a debris, so maybe the fire spray is not in such bad spot.
Yeah, I don't think he expected to hit that debris at all, so...
Yeah, so we had a hit crit there into 1 evade rolled, spins the token, no damage.
Here we've got 2 hits and a crit coming out from, I think this is fire spray number 2, into the same target, and I see 1 evade coming out. The crit is a hull breach. That is pretty unfortunate, but there's certain points where certain crits aren't as painful for you, and kind of sitting around the 2 hull, a hull breach might not hurt you that bad.
Agreed, that could have been much worse. So here comes the last shot from the back to dials fire spray, and it is just 1 hit. Into 2 focuses, though.
And that will be face up from the hull breach. That weapons failure. So I keep on getting that and blinded pilot mixed up. So rolling 1 less attack die.
1 less attack die. That is correct. That's good.
Unfortunate for the strikers here. So maybe that fire spray isn't in as bad of a spot as we thought it was.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on if this number 4 has a shot in at it, which I think we're going to measure right now. And with the head in the way, I can't quite see. It looks like it's shooting the back to dials fire spray.
Yeah, judging by that second. Yep, so here we got the range 3 shot with 3 natural hits. Into nothing.
That is unfortunate there. The natural hits.
Honestly, that's not the fire spray I expected to take any damage this round.
Looks like he's going to switch targets to it, maybe, though.
Oh yeah, I mean after doing that much damage, it's and that is one of the evading strikers, so no damage there. And it looks like a hit and 2 hits and a crit here. Into 2 evades.
2 natural evades. So 4 total shields off of those striker shots. That could have been much worse.
Yeah. That self bump definitely hurt him though, because he rolled 2 focuses on that first defense. Here's a range 1 into the pink Howl Firespray. 2 hits into, I can't quite tell from the glare, but that looks like 1 evade. Yeah, I'm hearing that is in fact 1 evade from the Howl Firespray.
So that will be 1 shield off of Howl total, right?
Yep, 1 shield off of Howl and all shields off of Back to Dials.
So I don't know how you're feeling about it, but to me, that round went a lot better for the Firespray player than I was expecting.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, the strikers still pushed through more damage in total, but not by much. And this sets Logan up with some decisions to have to make here. If he decides to basically K-turn or sloop with all of his strikers, that leaves Sai with not a lot of coordinate options if they're all stressed.
Mm-hmm, indeed.
But it could depend. Maybe he moves just one of them in for a block on number 1 so that he can get the rest of the guns on. That's probably what I would go for in this situation. But what do you think the play is for the Firesprays here at this point?
As fast as possible is what I would be doing here. I think your only real chance to avoid big damage here is to try to get up over the top and shoot with your rear arc.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I would be getting the Howl Firespray number 3 as far out of the way as I could, and everybody else is doing a 4 straight, trying to get over the top. You may still not be able to because those strikers could be in the way, but I think it's your best chance.
If they stagger appropriately, it's they might be pretty hard to avoid. But I definitely agree with you.
All right, and it looks like we have dials set. We're about to move here.
Yep, so it looks like number 1, we've got a straight aileron into, I don't know why I started that sentence, because I didn't see the dial yet.
Into some maneuver.
Some other maneuver.
Which is a
looks like
one
a 1
hard.
hard.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's definitely trying to set up for a block. And if you can stagger those strikers out pretty appropriately to the point where even if he tries to go fast, he can't make it over the last one, so he has to hit the first one, it could cause a lot of problems.
Yep. So here's an advanced ailerons, adaptive ailerons. I keep saying advanced ailerons.
I don't even know.
Adaptive ailerons, a bank into what looked like a 1 hard here, which will probably bump the
I think that
back to dials.
Bumps.
Off the rock, though.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered the possibility that it could have hit that rock, so that could have been bad.
And the last one, another adaptive ailerons into
like a
1 straight. So another self bump there.
He's definitely trying to set up a kill box here. He can use Sai to kind of make up for some missing actions at least.
Yeah.
And then I imagine 4 will.
Oh no!
Probably,
into a 1 hard over there.
Oh, a 1 hard.
So that's good there. I was about to say that he hadn't blocked off the 4 straight.
Right.
And that he could be risking that thing getting over the top, but with that striker there, I don't think a 4 straight is getting over the top.
He's blocked off the 4 straight. It's unfortunate that he had to face the opposite direction to do it.
It is.
But he will probably still get a shot on Howl depending on where it tries to go. And then we've got looks like a 1 straight or a 2 straight from number 4, just trying to keep a wide arc on wherever these chips end up.
Yep. No adaptive ailerons there because it was stressed to begin with.
So we got a 3 bank on Howl coming out, so yeah, at least number 3 will at least have a shot on Howl here, and Howl will have a response shot out the back arc.
And then we've got a 4 straight here. So it looks like the Firespray player was thinking kind of similarly to what I was thinking. Try to get up over the top here.
Yeah, and it looks like he just cleared, actually.
All right.
But I think that solidifies that number... these labels have gotten so jumbled.
Number 1.
Firespray number 1 will definitely not be able to get over.
Going with side nubs here. And
It looks like, yep, it looks like a bump.
indeed did not quite make it here. Going back
I'm
to
not
bump.
sure we're in, oh, there we go. We're not lining it up on the right nubs there for a second, but
A little bit of a mess, but there it is. It's bumped into number 1.
yeah, so this is definitely, it's unfortunate that 3 had to face the opposite way for that to work, but there's still at least 3 guns on that fire spray there, and we have a bump from Psy.
So
That's gonna hurt.
once again, not able to get the coordination that he wants, and with those strikers self-bumping up there, he's not going to have a lot of actions in any of these shots. So.
Yeah, if he had been able to clear that without bumping, then number 2 and Psy would both have focuses here for this shot.
Yep.
So that is kind of unfortunate for him.
So here comes a range 2 shot from Psy onto the back to Dials Bounty Hunter. It is 1 critical hit. And goes through. And we have a hull breach here.
PT106 in the chat asks, did 1 miss his action? I assume you mean Striker 1. Fire spray number 1 bumped. So he... I believe Striker number 1 also bumped.
Yeah, would have bumped
What
the fire spray that was back there to start with, so...
Yeah, so I think no one missed actions. I think they did just have a pretty big bump cluster that prevented most of it.
So here's a range 1 shot from number 1 fire spray onto number 3 striker. Looks like it missed completely, but did have to spend a token there. It looks like. Yep, and here's fire spray 2, same target, number 3, hit crit.
And oh, sorry, this was on striker number 1, the one that only had 1 hull left. So striker number 1 will go down, and that leaves the Tyson Sparks fire spray with 2 stress tokens because of Admiral Sloan.
As a Tyson Sparks, I understand his feeling there. There's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. I feel him.
As a Tyson Sparks myself.
That's right. So here we have Howl shooting. Looks like Howl has got 3 hits into striker number 3. Striker number 3 rolls 1 evade.
So it looks like, yep, so 2 damage onto striker number 3. Oh, onto Psy, apologies. That would explain why there was only 1 green die rolled.
That makes sense. So 2 shields off of Psy here. Leaves it with 3 shields remaining. And we got striker shots coming.
So let's see if this this box he set up pays off.
So here's number 3, range 1. Admiral Sloan reroll. This is into the Tyson Sparks fire spray. It's got 1 evade.
So that'll be a hit and a crit, which I believe is shield still
Yep.
on
2 shields off.
on you.
And I believe here comes number 2 striker into number 1 fire spray, the back to dials. 2 hits.
If I can give a quick correction to our techie, those shields should be off of fire spray number 2.
Meanwhile, we had 2 crits go through on the number 1 fire spray. We got a console fire and a blinded pilot.
Also on the wrong fire spray. The crit labels. Ace is telling me to be quiet. I will not be silenced.
Last striker here, the Lego number 4. Also measuring range out to the number 1 fire spray. Quick check here on the health of these fire sprays. And get the...
Make sure we've got our overlay correct.
Yep.
All right, looks like we've got the correct numbers up now. So here's number 4, I believe, into number 1 at range 2. I see 2 hits into 1 evade. And that'll be face up from hull breach again. Couldn't quite make out on the glare. Oh, a weapons failure. Man, that fire spray is having a rough go of it.
Yeah, hull breach, console fire, blinded pilot, weapons failure. It's a burning mess out there. It's much like the Back to Dials podcast, actually. It is our corporate fire spray.
That makes a lot of sense. I've been listening to Back to Dials for a while.
Tyson Sparks is stressed. The Back to Dials fire spray is a burning mess. This is a very accurate game. I'm pretty sure Howl's about to fly off the board and go see Asa, and then it'll be a perfect.
It'll really be a
game.
truly accurate representation.
That's right. So looking at the board here, what are you thinking here from the fire spray player?
From the fire spray player, I think Howl is going to have to do some kind of turnaround here, whether it be a K-turn or a Talon roll. I don't know what might be the best option on that. The Tyson Sparks he's double stressed, so he's not getting actions for a little while, but that's where the fire spray back arc comes in handy. He can just one straight forward and still have some shots. The interesting thought here is where the Back to Dials fire spray is going to go. Does he try to flee? Does he try to move fast and get as many shots off as he can? Or does he embrace that he's a burning mess and just try to turn in for some blocks?
We shall see. Here comes the action. So there's the adaptive ailerons, one straight from striker number 3. There he is. All right, moving up. So, and then into a one bank. Looks like trying to get into position to go after Howl here, potentially.
Yeah, so in this situation, if Howl has dialed in a Talon roll to the screen right here, that could be, honestly, potentially a good situation for both players. More for the striker, I think, because he'll have some dice mods, but...
Indeed. We'll have to see.
But yeah, I think that's the big thing, is these fire sprays are going to have a hard time turning around for a while because they have to worry about stressing themselves and dealing with Admiral Sloan.
Does make it tough. So it looks like over here we had an adaptive ailerons into a 2 hard. Also lining up here to chase either Howl or the Tyson Sparks fire spray.
Yeah, he's set up into pretty good position. If Tyson tries to go fast, then he lands in that arc, and if he goes slow, then he ends up bumped in some other ship's arcs.
Indeed. And the last striker, number 4. Looks like might be bumping the adaptive ailerons. Maybe not.
Not quite sure if that bumped or not, but either way,
sure.
He's going into a 1 hard on that.
Yep.
And
one bank.
One bank.
Like.
Okay.
And
it looks like a bump, but it's hard to tell past the Legos.
Goodness.
Nope, not a bump. He focused.
That ship is massive. So there is another striker right underneath the wings of this giant Lego monstrosity there. So that's where number 2 is. Number 4 is the Lego. So here's how it looks like a 1 straight. Just going to shoot out the back arc.
Yeah, definitely not a bad decision considering having to deal with Sloan if he turns around for a self-stress.
Yeah, it's a fair strategy to just try to drag the strikers out behind you here.
Right.
Shoot at the back. Tyson Sparks fire spray, gonna lose one of the stress and do a 2 straight blue here.
Yeah, so looking to get as much distance and out of as many arcs as he can. In all honesty, he's probably not going to be the target for a little while, seeing as there's 2 easier targets to go after.
It is true, and the Back to Dials burning mess of a fire spray is just going to move forward, and a bump on, hard to say, they're probably on number 4.
Yeah, looks like number 4.
Yep. And Sile stop.
Yep.
So, not bad for the Back to Dials fire spray. It's only got to avoid 1 shot here, and it might still be alive.
Yeah, it could still survive. This is going to be, looks like a range 1 shot from the Lambda. That might be range 2.
Tough to see with the big old Lego. Called as range 2, it sounds like.
All right, so a range 2 shot, so 3 dice against 2, both unmodified. We'll see how this turns out.
Oh, and it is 2 hits. Into 1 evade, 1 goes through. It is a
not a direct hit, and that's the important part.
Well, now, see, the big problem with getting one there is got to live through his console fire here, too.
That is very true.
Which will trigger right before he activates, so it's not out of the woods yet.
I've been informed earlier that you do still get a shot if console fire kills you.
Okay. And he rolls...
He rolls a crit.
A crit on his console fire.
Does console fire damage on a crit? It does not. And it looks like his bump was into number 2, so he's going to take a range 1 shot onto the Lego striker here. That was pretty lucky, actually.
Yeah, he lived.
I forgot that doesn't trigger on a crit.
Okay, here's the roll. 2 hits.
1 fewer die for weapons failure. 2 hits going through. One going through, spending that focus.
And now we've got the Tyson Sparks Fire Spray. Looks like trying a range 1 shot at Psy here. Hit, crit. Pretty good roll.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Into 1 evade.
1 evade. So 2 more shields off Psy. And we should be seeing a shot from Howl coming here.
Yeah, so Logan has had a pretty good spread of damage, or just spread of shots in general, over his ships. Kind of keeping them alive easier by forcing Steve to just realize his name has been changed to Merrick Steve. Forcing him to change his
no more
his targets
slogan.
from round to round and not take down, not be able to focus down one ship.
So there's the roll. It looks like 2 hits, and it will be into 1 evade. That's Psy rolling here. So another evade from Psy. He's hot.
Psy has got some, I would say good green dice, but I guess he's got a good green die.
Hey, that's all you need, right? So that's shields out on Psy, and you know, things looking pretty close here, I'm thinking.
I think it looks pretty close. I do still feel that Logan kind of has the upper hand, just in terms of pure firepower, but we'll see. Those fire sprays can avoid shots a little easier than you expect them to.
Ooh, and there is a big range 1 shot into the Tyson Sparks Fire Spray. 4 hits and no evades, all of them through.
I will reaffirm my statement that I think Logan has the upper hand on this one at the end of the round.
You're the oracle of back to dials here, man.
Yeah,
say it and it shall be.
As they happen.
So it looks like we got a striker shooting. Maybe this is number 4, range 1 onto the back to dials, interestingly enough. Whiffs the shot completely, though. And back to dials is still alive.
That is truly amazing to me.
Range 3 into Tyson from number 2. Here we have a hit crit and a reroll. 2 crits and a hit.
Crits.
Ouch.
Into 3 dice with 1 evade.
2 crits through.
You're taking 2 crits there, buddy.
Oh, man.
How's it feel?
Story of my life here.
So it looks like we got disabled power regulator and fuel leak in that order specifically. Had it been the other order, if fuel leak came out first, then the disabled power regulator would have triggered it. So
fuel leak comes out
lucky
second.
ordering.
Yep, that's good. So it's looking a little grim here for the Fire Spray player. You were correct. They're starting to get a lot of crits stacking up. But hey, the Back to Dials Fire Spray is still limping on. It's got crits. It's being
much like the Back to Dials
much like the podcast. Yeah, people are slinging beef at it left or right, but it just won't quit. Might be a mess, but it's just not going to stop.
In the future, I'm going to fly 3 fire sprays, and I'm just going to paint one to be each of you, Adam, Tyson, and Asa. And we'll really have an accurate representation.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So, looking at the board here, you know, the Back to Dials Fire Spray is not in such a bad spot. It might be able to just kind of be in behind here. Might actually look like the Tyson Sparks Fire Spray is the target now. What are you thinking?
I think so. I think the Back to Dials Fire Spray is gonna have to. He's gonna have to move slow. Those strikers are gonna get out ahead of him a little bit. So I think if the Back to Dials Fire Spray just one banks into the left, then Psy is gonna run into him and not be able to push that last damage through. If he can 1 bank into the left and get rid of that console fire, that would be the best situation for him.
That would indeed. He still has to live through that console fire.
Yeah.
So here we went with actions. Looks like we had a 1 bank adaptive ailerons and then a 1 hard to turn back in. We got a bump on the adaptive ailerons from the giant Lego. And
looks like a two sloop.
2 sloop are
left.
coming after this.
Or to the right? To the right.
To the right. Okay, so they're just marking number 2, and then he's going to sloop and maybe continue at the back to Dials fire spray here.
Yep, that could be the ship that does it. Yeah, he's in position. Logan is in position to take out 2 fire sprays in this round potentially. So Steve is going to need a pretty good response to that in order to stay kind of in the running.
I believe. Back to Dials forever. Back to Dials on top. Back to Dials lifestyle.
No words.
I made that up right here. That's totally mine. Anything I say on a podcast is mine. There's an adaptive aileron, 1 straight, and then a 2 bank bumps into the Tyson Sparks fire spray.
Yeah, so Logan is definitely trying to set up to kill both in this round. There is a chance at the oh, we got a 4 straight coming out of the back to Dials fire spray. Depending on what side did here, there's actually a potential that fire spray won't get shot at.
Do you think he dodged the arc from number 4? Hard to say with that giant
It's really hard
Lego
to tell
on there.
with that Lego on top.
Yeah.
My initial reaction is that he might have gotten out of it. But now that I'm looking closer, I don't think he did. I heard probably yes from Asa at a quick glance. But we'll see.
It is close.
Interested to see what side did here. If it's a 1 straight, that's really good for that fire spray, but a bank in either direction I think will get guns on.
No, I'm assuming the action from the back to Dials fire spray was to put down the console fire.
That would make the most sense.
That would make the most sense. Then we've got turns coming here from the other 2, lining the back up towards the strikers. And you know, this is kind of nice here. He's strung out the strikers a little bit here, right?
Yeah,
they aren't
he's
all
forced
concentrating.
them to spread. He's forced them to. The big thing is he's forced them to step away from their support ship.
Ooh, and here's an interesting move. Sai goes the other direction.
Yeah, so I actually kind of expected that, just trying to get the back arc onto the back to Dials fire spray. And then he's going to coordinate back here, giving both himself and striker number 2 a focus. So this could be rough for the back to Dials fire spray, but this is still only 2 dice into 2 dice.
Here we go. One hit.
Only 1 hit.
Come on, buddy.
No evades.
No evades.
And back to Dials goes up in flames.
Yeah, it isn't the first time we've said that, ladies and gentlemen. Not the first time we've said that.
So, it does look at least like the Tyson fire spray will live another day. Oh, well, I just noticed the number 2 has guns on, so maybe not.
No, number 2 and potentially
there's
number
hope.
3 up there. We will see.
I'm not sure that number 3 has arc on him, but I'm sure there will be a check for that.
So here's Tyson Sparks fire spray, probably shooting first. Firing first.
Looks
We've
like a lot
got
of paint. See,
hit crit. Hit crit, and that must have been Howl
so this
shooting.
must have been Howl then. Yep, so striker number 3 taking in 1 crit and burning his focus. Good choice, because had that crit been a direct hit, that could have been a 1-shot.
Instead, the crit is a loose stabilizer here. So that puts that Sentinel right at 3 hull. And here it shoots back, 1 hit.
Mega Silver here has reminded me that we should be saying Bractodials. With Fergie gone, all the puns have gone by the wayside.
Dude, that's a good idea. We should have Brack on the podcast more often so we can say that.
Just so you can
Just
say
so we
that.
can say it, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess you haven't been around for most of the running puns of the day, but Brack was on stream for first round.
Perfect.
And that's where this started.
Oh. Okay, so here's the striker number 3 into the Tyson fire spray. We've got hit crit, 1 evade. Looks like 1 crit will get through here. And he also threw out the ion token there because he has a disabled power regulator.
Correct.
To deal with.
So the 1 crit looks to be a I have no idea.
We'll see in a minute here.
Oh, fuel leak went off and killed the Tyson Fires.
Oh, back to dials and Tyson Sparks and fire. It's a bad day. It's a bad day to be me, man. It's a bad day.
That's a tough situation you got there. Oh, we're being told that there is 2 hulls still left on that fire spray, so something got out of whack somewhere.
Oh, but, my goodness. And if that's the case, it might live here. That was 3 hits, but it rolls 2 natural evades.
That is really good.
And it's going to live another day. That could be a big game. Now, it did take a wounded pilot in there, so it is quite beat up here, but still alive with 3 crits on here.
Yeah, so I think he probably dies for sure next round, so he probably just dials in a 1 straight, take a focus, and hope to take a striker down with him.
It's about all he can do here. About all he can do, but he gets 1 more shot, which could be big here for the rest of the game.
Yeah, definitely. With combined fire from him and Howl, I think he can probably take a striker off the board. But we'll see. I've thought that for a few rounds now, and they're still
all there. They're still all there. So getting a crit token out for the striker here. Remember that it has a loose stabilizer. Needs to do straight maneuvers. Needs to not do not straight maneuvers. That was totally clear, right? Yeah. There we go.
That does also include its aileron maneuver, if I'm not mistaken. If it executes a bank maneuver from its aileron, it will also trigger.
Oh, fascinating! So it is triggering loose stabilizer here because two straight maneuvers are going to take it right off the board. So I'd imagine he'll be doing one of the 2 here.
Taking at least 1.
Yep. So looks like here we're about to go. Yep, he's gonna trigger the loose stabilizer and take a damage, and that probably means he's adaptive aileron banking.
Yep, and then probably a straight maneuver after that, or could be a hard, but I'd expect a straight. Yep, 1 straight for the bump.
And number 2 takes a look at his dial, does the adaptive ailerons, 1 straight. Into another 1 straight, so 2 bumps here.
I can see that was the best way to keep guns on, but it might cause problems in terms of not having any dice mods on those guys.
It could. Couple lucky rolls with naked strikers could change the game here. We'll see. It's far from over yet. So
yeah, I think it's far from over. It's far from decided. I still am not sure what to expect from here.
Here comes the Tyson Sparks Fire Spray. 2 forward, clears that last stress. Does retain the ion token.
Yes, because it does take 2 ion tokens to ion a medium-based ship, so he has 1 more round before it'll trigger.
And throws out a target lock onto number 2 for his action. The Howl Fire Spray, also a 2 straight. And
probably
a focus there for a sec. So interesting that he throws out a target lock there on the number 2. Number 2 being the less damaged of the Sentinels remaining.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. He might be hoping that Howl can just take number 3 off the board right away. But I might have just gone with a focus there for the versatility.
I think I would have too. Meanwhile, Sai does a 2-turn there, lands right on top of a rock, gets stressed, takes a damage. All kind of bad news for Sai.
Oh man, I can't even see it under there.
Yeah,
was that debris
landed right on top of it. It was a rock. Range 2 shot, uses the target lock, 2 hits after the lock. Into 1 evade, so that's 1 damage onto the number 2 striker. Leaving it with 3 hulls. So again, the splitting of fire here. I'm not sure what I think about it.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to why he's firing on number 2 instead of number 3. Because that shot would have killed number 3 there.
Yeah. So Howl rolls 3 hits, but into 1 evade, and that thing will go to 1 hull. Like you said, if those 2 shots are at number 3 instead, it's a dead striker, and this game looks different.
And
I'm
not
not
even
sure.
both. Just Howl's shot could have gone into number 3 and been enough to kill it.
There you go. All right, range 3 obstructed. Number 4 into the Tyson Fire Spray. We've got 2 hits. Oh,
nothing.
nothing on the green dice there. And the Tyson Sparks Fire Spray this time goes down for real. Burn,
I'm
baby,
still curious
burn.
as to how we lost track of the hull on that, but yeah, that was surprising.
It's a Tyson Sparks Fire Spray. It probably just cheated. Put some hull somewhere else. One more hit going through into Howl there from one of the strikers. Here comes the second shot, probably into Howl. And it looks like we've got 2 hits.
This is coming from, yeah. So number 4 is the one that killed Tyson Sparks. Looks like 2 focuses from Howl, so another 2 damage.
Shields are out.
Off.
So,
yep, this is looking grim for the fire sprays at this point.
Howl stands alone. It's getting close to the end here. Asa, save me! Save me! Asa. That's Howl there, not me throwing that out there.
It
so
could be either one, man. I don't know. I don't know your life. But yeah, I think Howl can probably take number 2 and number 3 down before she dies. But we'll see. She's got to survive probably 2 guns on her this round.
Or 3. The big problem is that number 4 is pointing the right direction and can go real fast. So.
My thought here is that Howl will manage to kill number 2 before number 2 has a chance to shoot.
Fair enough.
So she will probably take some shots from 3 and 4.
So meanwhile, we got the strikers moving up on ailerons. Number 2 bumped. Looks like number 3 is also probably going in for a bump here. Never know, might fit, but nope,
yep,
it's gonna slide
like
it.
A bump.
So 2 bumps
just
again.
looking to keep guns on. Probably guns on with no tokens is better than guns off with some tokens.
Yep. And the number 4 striker gonna do the adaptive ailerons, and I'd imagine just come on over. Yep, 2 straight coming in. Not as fast as I expected. Maybe Howl, if did it fast, can get away.
Yeah, Howl could definitely like 3 or 4 straight here and potentially not take any damage from number 4. Looks like he's going for a 2 straight with a focus.
So you're going to need some luck here. Going to be looking at least 2 shots coming at him.
Yeah.
Sai,
2, potentially 3 if the dice aren't with him.
Yeah, we'll see here. Sai getting off that rock. Now, the good thing for Howl is should be able to kill a striker here without being in Sloan range.
Yeah, and that'll be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely if Sloan were to be in range this round, that would be essentially a death sentence.
So no shot from Sloan. We'll move over to Howl's shot.
Looks like it'll be a range 2 out the back. I imagine at number 2. I see only 1 hit.
No, only 1 hit. And one evade. That is not what the fire spray player needed here.
Yeah, and that was a shot into number 2, so that could have been dead if the green dice had blanked as badly. But it's like we got a range 3 coming in from number 4 into Howl. Things are looking pretty grim. 2 crits.
Into looks like 1 evade there
1 evade,
with the
1
focus. Gets out of both of them with the focus token. So all right, that's what he needed. Gonna need a couple more of those though.
Yeah, he's gonna need some luck just to not take any damage coming up from these 2 shots.
Oh, and that is not it. That's hit, crit into just 1 evade. Gonna take hit, crit here.
2 crits.
2 crits
Taking
even.
2 crits.
Goodness.
I heard blinded pilot and stun pilot and structural damage.
So 1 less green die to evade here, and man,
And those red dice are just on fire. 1 evade rolled, so another hit crit, and that is a direct hit.
my goodness, Admiral Slogan, I need your dice. I need your dice.
This has been. He doesn't need the Sloan rerolls. He doesn't need focus actions.
He
just needs
bump and roll,
weighted
man.
dice.
Bump
What?
and roll. Howl may love Asa, but Admiral Slogan does not love Howl. That is for sure.
Definitely not. Yeah, so normally I'd ask what you think what you think Hal can do to get out of this, but
pray.
Don't know that there's much of anything.
Pray. Yeah. So we're quickly back here, and obviously this is coming to an end. Now, as this comes to an end, I do want to say to everybody out there watching, we are going to move on to the cut here. Super exciting. The 2018 Walker Classic should be our very best players and some very interesting matches. So everybody out there, do me a favor. Get on your local X-Wing group or your text or however you get in contact with your people, contact them, tell them we're streaming on the Back to Dials Twitch channel, get them to tune in. It should be great X-Wing. We'd love to see more people watching, and I'm just being told in my ear here, hold on. Yeah, I'm being told if we can get up to 100 viewers, Asa will shave his head on the YouTube channel. So he has thrown that out there. So go text all your people. We need 100 viewers. Asa is shaving his head on the YouTube channel. I'd love to see it. What do you think, Ben?
No, I would love to see that. I think it's really generous of Asa to offer such incentive.
He's a nice guy. He is
really
a benevolent podcast.
So Asa, thank you for that offer. We will try to take you up on that.
Yeah, so help us out, everybody out there. Contact your people. We need 100 viewers for the cut here. Very exciting X-Wing. Tell them tune in.
Yeah, it'll be great television if you can get 100 viewers. I would also like to say we've kind of slacked this round on doing some giveaways on prizes. So we will prep up a little more and do some giveaways when this game is over, as well as trying to rapid fire some of them off during the final cut. So stay tuned for that while we prepare ourselves a little better.
That's right. So Hal goes 2 straight, lays down a target lock here. Time to go big or go home. Hope for some target locked crits here to get back in this. It's looking grim.
Yeah, I mean, the dice could be with him this round, but something tells me we're about to see the last round.
Yep, so a coordinated focus from Sai there over to number 2. Sai looking to shoot here, see if it's got a range 3 shot. It does at Howl. Here comes 3 big dice.
And I see 3 paint, spend the focus
My
for 3.
goodness.
And there's the game.
He stays hot, so Admiral Logan Haas victorious with the strikers here, and Imperial staying hot.
I don't want to acknowledge that Imperial's won. So.
I don't either. Yeah, he probably cheated there, Imperial.
But yeah, so we'll be right back with some giveaway handouts or some give outs for trivia questions and stuff. We need a brief moment to get ourselves collected for that, and then we'll come back with those ready to go.
Stay tuned.